here with StemTASTIC to tell you all kinds of science and STEM and very fantastic things. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Hello. As Patty just mentioned, my name is Denise Trezza, and I have spent about over 10 years teaching science in the New York City public schools. And then about 10 years ago, I left to raise my own kids, and I have 3 kids of my own. And I just found the experience of raising my children, especially when they were toddlers, and watching them grow in the way they take in information, had such a huge influence on the way I thought about teaching. So I have developed this program with that in mind, and it's called StemTASTIC because we have always taught science with the STEM in mind, so science, technology, engineering, and math. But again, as I said, watching how my own children learn and how they take in story and drama, and I thought it all needs to come together. So I have in my program, we include not only STEM, but theater, art, and story, and we target inquiry and creativity, which I think are 2 of the most important things we can give to our children. This is one of my favorite quotes of all time, and I use it all the time in my classes. When kids are getting frustrated, I remind them that it's supposed to be frustrating, it's supposed to be hard, it's supposed to be difficult, but we're going to stick with it. And then when they do, the rewards are phenomenal. So I developed the program really by asking myself, what skills are our children going to need for the future? And I think it's fair to say that there isn't a person present that could really predict what the world is going to look like in 20 years. We don't know. However, I do think that it's a pretty safe bet to say that our kids are going to need problem-solving skills. They're going to need to know how to figure out things for themselves. They're going to need to be creative and innovative. And more importantly, they're going to need a lot of grit, a lot of tenacity to stick with the task. Some of the programs that I offer include building a balloon race car. Kids have a lot of freedom in what kind of wheels they might choose, what kind of axle they might choose, what kind of body they might choose. And it doesn't always work the first time. Sometimes the wheel falls off. It's, we got to go back to the design and figure out how are we going to fix this. But the true test is, can we get through that? Can we work through those problems? And inevitably they have something that's amazing that they feel very connected to. Children are natural-born scientists, and we can, in order to cultivate that in them, we can make sure that they get the right experiences. I'm sure most of you have seen toddlers building up blocks, knocking them over, building them up again, knocking them over again. They are actually being very, very scientific and following the scientific method, making an observation. If I do this, will this happen? Will it have the same effect every single time? Let me try it again. Let me try it a little differently. By the age of 3, they need something a little bit more advanced. By age 3, they're ready to start flying planes and looking at how other things in nature work, but they still are working on their sensory beings. Before age 7, children are really sensory beings. So I have 2 different types of programs. One is for ages 3 to 7, and that is a full-on sensory experience where they learn from their observation skills and from trial and error. And then I always have a great story that connects it all. So one of my favorite programs is Adventures in Flight for 3 to 7-year-olds. And we use the book Clorinda Takes Flight, which I'm sure librarians have certainly heard of. And it's a wonderful story that incorporates perseverance and trial and error. And Clorinda's she's a cow that's trying to get off the ground, and it doesn't work the first time, and she tries it again another way. And with those 3 to 7-year-olds, we explore different ways of making a plane. We can make a rotocopter that'll spin, we can add a paperclip, or we can put a heavy paperclip on it, or a small paperclip on it, see which one is going to work better. We can build a plane, make a hoop glider, all different kinds of things that we can make. And again, they're going to use trial and error and figure out how are they going to get that to work. Around the age of 7, I have a different program for 7 up to 12-year-olds, even up to 14-year-olds, because that's when abstract thought comes into play, and we start looking for, well, why is this happening? That's when we bring in concepts such as lift, and how does a plane actually get off the ground? Things that we can't see, that aren't tangible, that we can pull it together. We also do a lot of sinking and floating and properties of boat making, so that what the younger class will do, we'll make simple boats out of clay or things that float. With my older classes, they will look at the structure of a boat, and we'll talk about Archimedes and how he had this eureka moment when he got into his bathtub, and the bathtub started to overflow because his body was displacing the water. We're talking about how do we get a boat to float? We have to figure out how much water it's going to be able to displace. So we go a little bit deeper. My class is structured so that I know I'm a mom of 3 myself, and I know sometimes how difficult it is to get to a class right on time. My class is structured so that when you do get there on time, you're rewarded that something to do right away. As soon as kids walk in the door, there's something to keep them engaged. One example is my marble ramp over here, which is deliberately made out of very homemade materials. It's just a big box. Tubes of paper towels, any kind of tubes I could find, and a marble. If I have this in the room, it's got 3 sides with felt on it. Those tubes come off. They're attached to the Velcro. They can be shaped any way you want. Kids know exactly what to do with that when they see it. If they're given a marble and a ramp like that, they know exactly what to do. You've got kids all around there. They can make it travel out on the floor a little bit further. They design that any way they want. That's for one program. If I were doing a program, Adventures in Flight, for example, I'd have different flying machines out on the table, different types of gliders, different things for them to just unstructured play with, because we know that play is key and integral to children's development, and so much is going on when they're playing and they're talking to each other, and then it also gets rid of that. You walk into a program, maybe in a library, you don't necessarily know other children there, you don't know what's going to happen. Suddenly, the kids loosen up a lot when they're just invited. They're given materials right off the bat. They're not given any pressure. They're not asked any questions. They're just given materials to explore at their own free will. After that, after about 15 minutes or so, we've given a chance for all the latecomers to arrive. Then we gather together. And for my younger class, my science and story class, that's the time when we listen to a story. We pull in the topic together with a great piece of literature. For my older classes, that's when we talk about, what did you notice? Which shape of plane flew the best? Which glider flew the best? What did you notice and why? Now we're really talking about why do we think this is happening? Not just what we've seen, but why do we think it's happening? We talk about it, we brainstorm together, and then, I like to call it go time. Now it's time for you to be the creative designers. What kind of plane are you going to design? Based on what you've just observed, using our tools, how will you design a plane that can fly the best? Or how will you design a boat that can hold the most weight? Let's see how we do. A week ago, I taught a class with boat building, and one of the kids built his boat the way he thought was the best way to build it. So disappointed that it didn't hold as much weight as he thought it would. But after when the class was over, it was time to go. He's like, oh, please, I know how to do it now. I know how to change. Can we please do it again? And I said, well, of course you can do it again. What did we use? We used either a plastic egg carton, or we used a plastic takeout container, or a sushi container. Do you have these things at home? Yeah, I do. It's like, all right. Well, do you have a bathtub at home? Yeah, I do. Okay, then. I want one of the things, I might be with the children for an hour and a half. My hope is that they leave me with something that, they take away something from that program so that it's not over. The class isn't over when you go home because, well, now you know how to do it right. Your boat didn't hold as much weight as you thought it would or hoped it would. Now you've got all the tools you need to go design a better boat. And I did hear later from his mom that he absolutely built a much better boat. And then one other thing, after go time, After go time, we have our final, this is when the theater and the drama comes in, we have our share at the end. So that that's a chance for the shy kids to hopefully come out of their comfort zone a little bit. Again, no pressure, nobody's forced to do anything they don't want to do, but kids are invited and encouraged to share what they did. Talk about the design. Maybe your car didn't go as fast as you wanted it to do, but maybe you sacrificed a beautiful design, a well-designed car. Maybe you thought that was more important. So you're going to share that. I always say that, the great products that we use, for example, Lexus, you're not just buying, people are not just buying a Lexus, they're buying the story. Or the Subaru has that wonderful commercial about the story behind the car. So what's the story behind your boat? Why did you choose to make it that way? And it's not just about did it hold the most weight, or what's special about your boat? What creativity did you put into it that makes it really great? Does anybody have any questions for me? Because I think I have about a minute left. Okay. Thanks. Sure.
How many children can you accommodate?
That kind of depends. If there's an assistant from the library that's able to help out, I can go up to 20, 25. Yeah, I do prefer to keep the classes small because I like it to be intimate, and I like the kids to get lots of personalized attention. So, yes.
How much space do you need for a program like
How much space?
How much is a large room? Do you do it in a smaller
It's not a very large room. I've taught classes with 15 kids in somebody's living room, so we make it work. A nice big space is ideal. If that's not a possibility, we make it work. So just a place to gather and a few tables for kids to work on is really all we need. And I do have, if you go to my Facebook page, I do have a video of me teaching classes as well. You can see how it goes and the excitement that the kids have about creating. So I think that one of the nicest things is that it's not a cookie cutter craft that they're coming home with. If I have 15 children in that class, you are going to see 15 very distinctive looking boats or 15 very distinctive looking planes. It's a very individualized project. They are given all the materials and they've got to make their choices.
Do you supply all the materials?
Yes, I do. And it's mostly intentionally they are recycled materials. We're talking about building a better world. I've noticed my own children have changed their thinking. They don't let me throw anything away anymore. Like, no, I have to make something out of that. No. So, that's intentionally. Like I said, this is not some fancy store-bought, something fancy from a store. It's something that, you can go home. You don't need me. You go home and go in your recycling bin, and you can do this. That's what I hope the kids will get out of it. Yes. Oh, 7 to 12. So I have a structures class as well. Building structures, and we just did a project with toothpicks and marshmallows, and lots of the activities are available online. However, I think it's the style of teaching that really encourages them to keep pushing. And let's say, well, this isn't working. Oh, frustrating. Let's see, what else can we do? And again, I do not take the approach that I've got the answers. I'm going to tell you how to fix it. I'm not going to tell you how to fix it. I'm going to say, maybe you could try. How about we try a different way? How about we try it this way? But again, they've got to figure that out. I'm also teaching a Rube Goldberg class. I don't know if you know about the Rube Goldberg contest, but it's a crazy contraption to try to, this year is to apply a Band-Aid. But, for a library program, we could do something like that, make a contraption that could do something and design it together, and what kind of steps would we need and how it's going to work. And again, building a better world, it's all about using simple things that we all have at home, so they take that away with them. Okay, thank you so much.